In a remote village nestled among rolling hills, the sky hung low and heavy with dark clouds. A chill wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it an unsettling melody that seemed to echo the secrets of the land. It was here that our weary traveler sought refuge, hoping to find a moment of peace in this secluded corner of the world. As night fell, the traveler settled into a small, cozy cottage on the outskirts of the village. The fire crackled softly in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Outside, the wind continued its eerie song, a lullaby that promised rest but hinted at something more. Our protagonist, exhausted from the journey, sank into a plush armchair, eyes heavy with the weight of sleep. But as the minutes ticked by, a strange unease began to creep in. The shadows in the corners of the room seemed to deepen, and the air grew thick with an inexplicable tension. At first, it was easy to dismiss the odd occurrences as mere tricks of a tired mind. A book falling from a shelf could be explained by an uneven surface. The sudden chill that ran down the traveler's spine might simply be a draft from an ill-fitting window. Yet, as the night wore on, these small disturbances began to take on a more sinister quality. In the depths of the night, when all should have been still, the faintest sound of footsteps echoed through the cottage. Soft at first, barely perceptible, they grew clearer with each passing moment. The traveler sat up, heart racing, straining to listen. There it was again, the unmistakable sound of footsteps, accompanied by something else, a slow, rhythmic dragging, like old leather shoes being pulled across wooden floorboards. The traveler's breath caught in their throat. Every window had been shut tight, every door locked. There was no one else in the cottage. No one else should be there. And yet, the sounds persisted, growing nearer with each passing second. A cold sweat broke out across the traveler's brow as they huddled deeper into the armchair, eyes wide and searching the darkness. The fire had long since died down to embers, leaving the room in near-total darkness. Still, the footsteps approached, accompanied by that awful dragging sound. Suddenly, a gust of frigid air swept through the room, extinguishing what remained of the fire. The traveler gasped, feeling the icy fingers of fear grip their heart. How could there be such a draft when all the windows were closed? And with the cold came something else, a smell, sweet at first, almost cloying but quickly turning foul. It was the scent of decay, of things long buried that should have remained hidden. The traveler's mind raced, searching for a rational explanation. Perhaps it was all just a vivid dream, a nightmare brought on by exhaustion and an overactive imagination. Yes, that must be it. With this comforting thought, our protagonist allowed their eyes to close, willing themselves back to sleep. But sleep, when it came, brought no respite. In the realm of dreams, the traveler found themselves standing in a long, dark corridor. The walls seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and that same sickly sweet smell permeated the air. At the far end of the corridor, a figure stood shrouded in shadow. Heart pounding, the traveler took a hesitant step forward. The shadowy figure remained motionless, its form indistinct and wavering like smoke. Another step, and another. The traveler drew closer, driven by a morbid curiosity that overpowered their fear. Just as they were about to reach out and touch the figure, it turned where a face should have been. There was only a swirling void of darkness, and from that void came a scream, a sound so filled with anguish and rage that it shook the very foundations of the dream world. The traveler stumbled backward, trying to escape, but the figure was suddenly right behind them. Cold, spectral hands grasped at their shoulders, and that terrible scream filled their ears. With a jolt, the traveler awoke, gasping for air and drenched in sweat. Sunlight streamed through the windows, banishing the terrors of the night. The traveler sat up, relief washing over them as they took in the familiar surroundings of the cottage. It had all been a dream, nothing more than a nightmare brought on by an overactive imagination and an unfamiliar place. But as they moved to stand, a sharp pain shot through their arm. Looking down, the traveler's blood ran cold. There, etched into their skin, were 4 long scratch marks. They looked as though they had been made by ghostly fingernails, trailing down from shoulder to elbow. The traveler stared at the marks, mind reeling. How could this be? It was just a dream, wasn't it? But the evidence was there, undeniable and terrifying. The scratches were real, a physical manifestation of something that should have remained in the realm of nightmares. As our protagonist sat there, grappling with the impossible, a new sound drifted in from outside. The wind had picked up again, carrying with it the faint echo of footsteps and the dragging of old leather shoes. Was it all just a dream, or had something truly sinister visited in the night? The traveler couldn't be sure, and as they hurriedly packed their belongings, eager to leave this place behind, a nagging doubt remained. Perhaps some things are better left unexplained, some mysteries better left unsolved. For in the quiet moments, when the world grows still and the shadows deepen, who can say what might be lurking just beyond the veil of reality? What ancient forgotten things might be waiting for their chance to reach out and touch the world of the living? As our traveler departed the village, casting one last glance at the cottage that had been both refuge and prison, a chill wind stirred the leaves, and in that wind, if one listened closely, they might just hear the faintest whisper of a scream, echoing from a place beyond dreams, beyond nightmares. A place where the boundaries between the real and the imagined blur into nothingness. So the next time you find yourself in a quiet, unfamiliar place, and the shadows seem to grow a little deeper, remember this tale. Listen for the sound of footsteps in the night, for the dragging of old leather shoes, and if you smell something sweet and foul on the air, if you feel a chill that goes beyond mere cold, well, perhaps it's best not to look too closely at the darkness, for some things, once seen, can never be unseen. And some dreams, once dreamed, may follow you into the waking world. Sleep well, dear listener, and may your dreams be free of shadows that scream.